Yeah, Anton.
This is from his sweater, Chris.
I'm gonna say I have a lot of information in this presentation, so if we could keep audience participation to a minimum, because I'm trying to get through all of it in 10 minutes. There's a lot, y'all. It's crazy. I'm ready though.
Did you see the gift for today?
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's for you.
Classic. Yeah. All right. There's logical inconsistencies in God's universe. What? Alright, so, ignore that. So, before we even get into the logical inconsistencies, we have to know how they work, alright? So, the first thing, cars need both food and water as well as gas, right? There are multiple times where, like, Lightning McQueen and the cars eat food, but they also need gas. Alright, they can see, taste, hear, and smell, and I'm assuming they have like a slight sense of touch. It's not like as, yeah, it's not like as prominent as humans have, because they're cars, so it's harder to get nerve endings there. They grow from children into adults. We see multiple instances of child cars, alright? They need the bathroom, they need sleep, and they need to breathe. So, what does this mean? Alright, so we can get a bit of information from these, alright? Cars have to have both human function and car function. So most likely the food and water powers like their brain, their eyes, their mouth, any like human functions, and the gas just makes the cars go. Additionally, I don't think their engine needs to be on for them to move. They can like use their joints to walk, but in order to go any faster than like 5 miles an hour, they need to turn on their engine. And most likely the car shell itself cannot grow because it's just like a thing. So probably like the organism inside grows and they just get bigger and bigger cars.
Like a snail.
Yes, yeah, like a snail. Alright, which brings us into the next part. This is very important. How do they reproduce? I have 3 theories on this. There are 3 possibilities. Theory 1, alright, they're completely manufactured. They're big, companies, buildings that manufacture cars where parents go and they have like some sort of computer program that like mixes together your personality and physical traits and make a child car out of that. Theory 2, only the car part of the car is manufactured and the more human biological part is made through sexual reproduction. And theory 3, why are you laughing? This is all logical.
You said says.
It's entirely sexual reproduction and no manufacturing. Obviously, some of these theories don't make sense. We know in Cars 2 from when Lord Axelrod, or Sir Axelrod is talking, he mentioned specifically that cars are manufactured. So it can't just be 3. That wouldn't make sense. I don't think it's just 1. But all of the theories have some way of being misproven. So it's probably a weird combination of 1, 2, and 3. All right. So now we're going to go through a few of the individual problems in just the 3 movies. All right. In Cars 1, why are there RVs? RVs, the point of an RV is you can live inside them. What car is living inside the RVs? All right? If they are made through anything other than direct reproduction, why would you manufacture an RV? It doesn't make sense. All right, okay, anyway, next. In the beginning of the first movie, Chuck, the truck that drives around Lightning McQueen, falls asleep, but his engine is still on and it is still driving. How? We know from that exact same scene that one guy, whenever he sneezes, it's connected directly to his engine. So it's clearly like a mental process that makes the cars go. But how is he asleep and the engine's still on? This doesn't make sense. All right. Also, when Mater and Lightning scare the tractors, Mater calls Lightning a chicken, meaning chickens exist, but we never see them. How do chickens exist in a Cars universe? It doesn't make sense. Sally has a tramp stamp. I just thought that was funny. It's not really inconsistency. She just does, Lightning calls him out. And also, Chick's mustache isn't like grown, it just falls off. We will have questions at the end, don't worry.
Okay.
Shut up.
Next one, Cars 2, airport security. How? They are metal. The amount of radiation you would need to see through metal would give every single car super cancer in a second. What the hell? How can you? Also, the fact that they need airport security says something about like I don't know, like,
Cars 9/11.
yeah, Cars 9/11, like, in that existence, like, the plane itself would have to defect, all right? Not just, it can't be hijacked, because the plane itself is conscious. Also, the Pope-mobile has his own Pope-mobile. Imagine the Pope-mobile's car. That is your entire existence. You drive around this one old guy all your life. That's the only thing you're made for. Also, the fact that there's a Pope means there's a Roman Empire, because it's Roman Catholicism. How? What? That doesn't make sense. All right, there's also a queen. I guess that one isn't super dumb. How do they paint? It's like in the movie, there's like a little attachment that goes on the wheel that holds the brush, but how does it move it all like this and not just forward and back? And that doesn't make sense. They don't have that amount of motor control. Is lemon a slur? Is that like a slur for a disability? That's what it seems, right? Because like all the cars that like break down a lot, they're called lemons. That's a slur. What the heck? Also, Finn McMissile has these like bombs that like stick onto stuff through magnetic force. How do they not either A, stick together or just stick to him? He's also metal. How does it go and stick to something else? That doesn't make sense. All right, 3. All right, old folks home. It's a little weird because there's like not a lot of idea of aging. You can kind of see some cars get older, but it doesn't really make sense. Cars can also get arthritis, as seen in Cars 3, which also doesn't. Cars don't have joints. They, like, you can kind of see them move, but that would just be rust, not arthritis. That's like a whole different thing. Also, there's alcohol in the Cars universe. Wouldn't drinking any amount of alcohol just be totally illegal? Because that's your own driving and you would just crash and die? Why is there alcohol in the Cars? Also, there are June bugs, which, I don't know, kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't make sense, because, like, it can, you know. Lightning Queen has X-ray vision, I swear, at the 1 hour mark in Cars 3. Chuck is driving on, like, this foggy pass. And Lightning says, pull over, we need to get out now. And he gets out of Chuck's trailer. No windows, there's no like monitor showing the outside. How does he know that there's a big sign of Doc Hudson on the street? How does he see that?
GPS.
It doesn't, no. It's not GPS, he's not like watching it as they're going along. He like suddenly says, stop, get out. He can't see anything. Doesn't make sense. Also, why is there a school bus? Baby cars can drive themselves, no? Like, I guess for a bit of added safety, but a school bus, like a normal sized school bus theoretically could only fit like 6 or 8 cars, so it doesn't really make sense. All right, so those are like individual movies. Now, this is just general. Can cars feel pain? Can they feel pain? Like Lightning McQueen in the 3rd movie totally crashes. That would be enough pain to like make you unconscious, send you into shock, severe damage. Also, that would give you severe brain damage, which he doesn't have. So I don't know. I think they might be able to feel a little pain, but it's like very muted. How do they play instruments? In 2 and 3, the cars that are like Guido, they have like the lift things. They play guitar. It's a single piece of metal. How do you like change the pressure of where the metal is? You would just hit every chord on the guitar at once. That doesn't make sense. All right, they don't have any meat. I've checked, there's no like meat. They seem to be completely vegetarian. But how do they have animal products? Going back, we know there are chickens, so there are probably eggs. We know there's ice cream, so there's gotta be milk. Do the tractors make milk? How does that work? How? Doesn't make sense. All right, next, how do they operate themselves? We can see, this is kind of easier. It's probably just like a mental process. They can like lock themselves. They have lights that they can turn on, stuff like that. Not super weird. Currency, how do they pay for stuff? They have no pockets. They can't like pull out a dollar bill. How does that work? How do they have money? It doesn't make sense. How quickly do they mature? There's like no information on how quickly they grow up. I'm assuming it's more accelerated than normal humans because we can see in like 3, they quickly manufacture like the new level of car to race against everyone. How do like races work? Not like vroom race, but like the human concept of race. All right, is a different build a different race? Or is that like different? Because there's also a difference between American and British and all these other things. Is that like a separate thing? It's weird. Snakes exist in the 1st movie. When Lightning McQueen thinks he's getting shot at by the police officer, he goes in a S and he yells serpentine. What's a snake? Is it a train? Is it like a weird train that doesn't have any tracks so it can go around like that? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. How long do the cars live? Okay, they're like. We have like a wide range of how old do they like. We see going problems with like the mayor of Radiator Springs, or the mayor's wife of Radiator Springs. So we can assume that like they probably have a set time frame, but like how old exactly is that? And what like, why does that, it wouldn't it be if you just stay maintained, you'd be fine? Why do they get older? How are wars fought? We can tell through Cars 2 that it is very expensive to install guns in cars because all of the goons that the big oil company has, they don't have guns. They have like weird flamethrowers and stuff. So how would they get guns? Like Finn has guns, but that's got to be so incredibly expensive to install in a car. So how do you fight wars? Before guns existed, how did they like fight wars in like, we know Rome existed. How did they fight wars as Romans? How did they use a spear? Doesn't make sense. All right, what differentiates between intelligent and non-intelligent cars? We have like, you know, the normal cars that can think, but then we have the tractors that are less intelligent for whatever reason. We have little bug. They're like little cars with wings, and they don't have as much mental fun. Why? Why is it different? What? They're all like the same as, doesn't make sense. All right, school, not super confusing. Assumedly they just like learn stuff, but it's kind of weird because like what's different about school than like in the Cars universe than ours? So a little something to think about. And then like in the large organisms, like planes, big trucks, cruise ships, you know, freighters, can they feel the cars inside of them? Because like the planes, they have like seats for other things to go inside it, but they're sentient beings themselves. How does that, do they like know they're in there? Is it just kind of like disconnected? I feel like if my arm just opened up to a big empty cavity, I would feel if something's in there, and that would be weird. All right, those are some, and then sadly I only had 10 minutes, so these are some of the things I'll just go briefly over that I couldn't get into. How did the cars originate? Was it like a weird nuclear bomb where like everything changed from humans and then boom, cars? Was it like, did they evolve somehow? How would they evolve? We didn't have like motors or anything until like 150 years ago.
What if the cars merged with humans?
Maybe that. How do they build anything? Like you gotta like move a brick over. How do you do that as a car? Like you have like the little Guido cars, but like on a giant scale, how do they do that? Doesn't make sense. Global warming. If every single car is powered through fossil fuels, then assumedly there would be like so much ozone that it would like destroy the planet so quickly. Not to mention, like we have a limited fuel resource. Assuming that like Earth is the same in the Cars universe and ours, how do they have that much fuel? They would run out so fast because every single living thing needs it.
Is it a dystopian world where all humans have died and are replaced by cars?
That's what I'm thinking.
Could be.
Like,
And last, again, going
Maybe it's
into
all a
the need
dream.
for airport security, what does that just say about, you know, 9/11 happened, terrorism is a thing within the Cars universe. Also, there's a World War II car, so we do know that World War II was fought. You know, there are a lot of things that don't make sense. All right, but that's it. Are there any questions? There are a lot. Lily Claire.
Okay, so if there's a car Pope,
Mhm.
then that implies that there's a car Jesus.
Mhm.
And so if Jesus theoretically existed a long time ago, what kind of car was Jesus? Was it like a rock? Like there wasn't
I mean, you want to think it's a horse and buggy, but there were no sentient horses.
That's
can't.
so true.
You can't have like alive horses. So yeah, doesn't make sense. Ainsley.
Okay, so do you consider the Mater shorts part of the Cars universe?
That's a good question.
Probably. I was just doing Cars 1, 2, and 3. I have not watched any of the shorts or planes.
What?
What's wrong with you?
Theoretically,
Big fan.
theoretically, would you consider the
You're not even
Planes
a true
universe
fan.
No.
part of the Cars
No.
universe?
It's
Probably.
Disney.
It's like it doesn't seem like it is. It's like
That's-
I've played the Cars video game, but I don't think that's canon.
I played the Cars video game on the Wii.
It's weird. I am going just based on 3 movies. Yes.
I thought the truck that drove around Lightning McQueen was named Mac, because he's a Mac.
Should I call him Chuck? Yeah, his
There-
name is Mac.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. That's my bad.
Chuck is another guy.
So, was your second theory about the origination of cars basically saying there's like a meat suit hidden underneath, like?
Yes.
the-
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Making
Precisely.
sure they're like
That's
just
really
gross
scary.
fleshy masses
Yes.
underneath. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's weird. Soraya?
How many times have we watched the Cars movies?
4?
Really?
Only 4?
I was thinking about probably like 10.
Wait, you have this fixation and you've only watched them 4 times?
Like,
I mean, that's 12 movies.
No, those are like 4 critical
I've
watches.
watched each one 4 times.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
like
that's.
we
a
should
lot.
watch Cars after.
You could watch Cars.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah.
It's the hero's journey.
It is your turn.
Also, their battery would be their brain, right? Because that's like the only thing that makes electricity.
No.
Don't
Wouldn't
cars
the battery
I
be
guess
like the?
so.
So then, with
Because
what
like
happens
that
if
has
the
to be
battery
replaced,
dies?
right? So
Yeah. consciousness comes from battery.
Okay.
Yeah, and that
but
gets
how,
replaced.
if their battery dies, then how does someone pop the hood? And how would a hood
Like
get
surgery.
popped
It's like
on
surgery.
a car?
Yeah, I know. Why? Because like they're in Cars 1, they like lock their doors when they get to the travelers get to Radiator Springs because like this is weird.
Why would they
So
lock
that-
the doors if you can't go
I know.
inside?
Yeah,
Where's the
right?
diagram?
It's
That's on there.
strange. Yes.
On your point about cars aging,
Yeah.
well-maintained human bodies still die.
Mhm.
Also, even well-maintained cars still die, whether because they stop making the parts or because they just kind of give up. Who makes the parts for the cars?
But why would they stop making parts if people's lives depend on it?
Yeah.
And if it's still like a reliable business,
Don't have. It's like
Oh, Reed.
yeah.
capitalism.
I can
I
get into
can't
a
get
whole
over
discussion about
the fact that there are young cars. We see young cars,
Mhm.
but then like you said that they like manufacture cars the same year that race against lightning.
I'm not sure if they're manufactured or they were made like before that, but
I mean, it makes sense that they were manufactured that year. They all say that they're new.
they're new, but they might be like new to racing, right? So you like manufacture them 5 years before, and then they all grow up. But it does seem like only because Jackson Storm was doing so well that all these new cars were made,
Or they're a baby body with an adult shell.
which would be terrifying. I don't want children racing. Yeah,
Yeah, how like
No.
the cow cars are like
yeah, the track.
Is that why do they like? I don't understand.
What's the point of the
Why are
wires?
those
Those are
cars
stupid.
Do the muffler be
Because there's classes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
How
like,
are the
You
grass
lemon.
get pollinated?
By
Are
the
there
bugs.
flowers?
The bee
Tires.
How is it where there's not bugs?
Yeah, there are.
they're car bugs, but why would they pollinate things? Yeah.
Also, why wouldn't
Maybe they're
bugs
fuel
just be small
flowers.
planes?
Gasoline
Because it's
flowers.
a beetle. It's like a beetle car. I
Whoa.
thought that too.
Okay.
It's like a joke. It's like,
Think about
but
it.
also Big Ben is called Big Bentley. In the car, that's another little
Yeah.
little thing I noticed.
Alright, let's give Anton.
Yeah.
Much anticipated.
You're glad you came.
Reed, I need that uploaded to YouTube.
It will be.
Thank you, Reed.
Alright. Now time for actual class. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.